Hello everyone, welcome to Numeric Learning. Welcome to day 23 of Do Math with me. So, we are in this mission to solve problems every day, to get into the habit of practicing maths every day. We solve questions for approximately 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, and we are right now in chapter 3, which is linear equations in two variables. Pair of linear equations in two variables. So, today we will be solving three questions and we will also be learning in each question. As I explained, you will also be learning. So make sure, if you haven't watched this particular playlist of Do Math with me, definitely do watch it. There'll be a huge learning for all of you. And also, if you have any doubts, please do not hesitate to post it in the comments. Let's get started. The first question for the day. The pair of equations ax plus 2y equal to 9. Okay, so this is a linear equation. Another linear equation is 3x plus by equal to 18. They represent parallel lines. So what is the information that's given to you? Each of these are straight lines, right? So if you're graphically plotting a linear equation, it's always a straight line. So each of these is a straight line graph. So the pair of equations, they represent parallel lines. That means this line and the second line, these are parallel to each other, where a and b are said to be integers. If you have to find a relationship between a and b. So first of all, let's write whatever is the given equation. So ax plus 2y equal to 9. This is the first equation. The second equation is 3x plus by equal to 18. This is your second equation. Now, since the lines are parallel, are given as parallel, so you need to recollect what is the condition for parallel lines. That is, a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2, but these two ratios are not equal to c1 by c2. This is something that you have to remember. Whenever you have got parallel lines, in that case, the ratio of a1 is nothing but the coefficient of x in the first equation. This is b1, this is c1. a2, b2, c2. Okay, now the ratio of a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2, but these two ratios are not equal to c1 by c2. Now let us just substitute what is a1 is a divided by 3 is equal to 2 by b, but it is not equal to 9 by 18. So take the two ratios which are equal, cross multiply. So what do you get? AB is equal to 6. So the correct option is option D. Okay, none of the other options would match. I hope you understood. That's all. This is what is asked in the question. So always remember, whenever lines are parallel, you have, this is the condition to remember, that is a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2, but that's not equal to c1 by c2. How many solutions will it have? It will not have any solutions because the lines are parallel. And if it has no solution, how is the system? These two systems of equation, they are inconsistent. These are the things that you have to remember. So let's move on to the second question. One equation of a pair of dependent linear equation is this. What will be the second equation? Now, what is the condition for equations that are dependent on each other? That means it's the scenario wherein the lines are coincident or the lines are overlapping. It has infinitely many solutions. So what is the condition for systems that are dependent? Whenever you have dependent system of equations or lines, in that case, a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2, and that is also equal to c1 by c2. It has infinitely many solutions. Infinitely many solutions. So you have to find out which is the second equation. One equation is given to you. Which is that other set of equation which will match this condition is what you have to find out. So let us take the first given equation, which is minus 5x plus 7y. I am going to take 2 to the LHS side. So minus 2 equal to 0. Now let us take your option A. What is it? 10x plus 14y plus 4 equal to 0. Now what you see is minus A1 by A2. What is A1 by A2? Minus 5 by 10. What is B1 by B2? 7 by 14. Right? Here it is. You can just cancel it out. So is minus 1 by 2 equal to 1 by 2? Not equal. Okay, so that's the way to do. Now let us take the given equation and the B condition. So what is the given equation? Given equation is minus 5x plus 7y minus 2 equal to 0. And what is your option B? 10x minus 14y plus 4 equal to 0. Right? So here what you see, A1 by A2 is minus 5 by 10. Okay, just cancel it. It's minus 1 by 2. What is B1 by B2? 7 by minus 14. This is also equal to minus 1 by 2. What is the third equation? I think I've made a small mistake. Here in this particular question, it is minus, in both these cases it is minus 10. Okay, small correction in the question. So in the second question, it is minus 10x. Okay, so minus. So minus will get cancelled. So now what do you get? 1 by 2 is not equal to 1 by minus 2. Right? So B condition is also not correct. Now let's go to the C. So let's write the given equation as it is. Plus 7y minus 2 equal to 0. And let's write option C. What is the option C? Minus 10x plus 14y plus 4 equal to 0. Here what do you see? So minus 5 by minus 10, which is nothing but 1 by 2. Okay, is equal to 7 by 14. What is 7 by 14? Again 1 by 2. But that is not equal to minus 2 by 4. That is minus 1 by 2. So this condition is also not applicable. Now let's go to the third one. The fourth one. So minus 5x plus 7y minus 2 equal to 0 is the given equation. What is the last equation? 10x minus 14y plus 4 equal to 0. So let's take your A1 by A2 minus 5 by 10. So what is minus 5 by 10? Minus 1 by 2. Okay, it's equal to 7 by minus 14. What will this be equal to? Again minus 1 by 2. You have a minus sign here. Again the last one is minus 2 by 4. Again it is, so you will have minus 1 by 2 is equal to minus 1 by 2 is equal to minus 1 by 2. So this is the second equation which should be in this particular system as the second pair in order for the systems to be dependent on each other. So what is the correct option? It is option D, because none of the other three pair of equations are satisfying this condition wherein A1 by A2 has to be equal to B1 by B2 and it has to be equal to C1 by C2. So this is the condition. This is what has to be satisfied in order for the system to be dependent on each other. If the system of equations are dependent, what should you remember? That means it is a scenario wherein the pair will have infinitely many solutions, and regarding the consistency, yes, the system will be consistent. Right? So this is option number D. Let's move on to the third question. Yes, using graphical method, find whether the system of equation is consistent or not. The first thing is x equal to 0. What do you mean by x equal to 0? X equal to 0 means it is nothing but your y-axis. So this is your x equal to 0. This x-axis, right? This is your x equal to 0. Right? Okay, so let me write it here. Okay, so here this particular line is your x equal to 0. What is y equal to minus 7? Let me change the color. Y equal to minus 7 is a line which will pass through minus 7 in the y-axis, right here. And it will be parallel to your x-axis. So your y equal to minus 7 will be passing through minus 7 in the y-axis, and it will be parallel to your x-axis. So this is the line. So again, you have to write it. What is this? You should write it. Y equal to minus 7. Always write what the lines are representing. Okay. Now, what is the point of intersection? The point of intersection, this point of intersection, it is nothing but 0 comma minus 7. Okay, I'm not able to write it because it's an image. So, but I'll write it here. Okay, that the lines x equal to 0 and y equal to minus 7. Always remember, x equal to 0 is nothing but your y-axis itself. Always make it a habit to write the equation along with the line. Okay, along with it, should not just be a blank line. Make sure you write the equation. And y equal to minus 7 is a line parallel to your x-axis passing through y equal to minus 7. So x equal to something is parallel to y-axis, y equal to some value is parallel to your x-axis. Okay, so therefore, the lines you have to write, they intersect at 0 comma minus 7. Therefore, what should you write? The system, since the lines are intersecting and they intersect at only one point, therefore the system of equations have a unique solution, or has unique solution. What do you mean by unique solution? Just one solution. Just one solution. And what is that solution? X is nothing but 0, y is equal to 7. This is the solution. And is the system consistent or not? Yes, the system is consistent. So this is the condition to remember whenever you are given two graphs, whenever the lines intersect. In that case, remember the ratios, that is A1 by A2 will not be equal to B1 by B2. That is point number 1. Second point is that the lines will definitely intersect. It will be an intersecting line, and the point at which the intersection happens, the coordinates of the point of intersection, that will be the solution. So the system of equation will have unique solution or just one solution, and the system will be consistent. So these are the points that you have to remember whenever you are getting a question which has got intersecting lines. Okay, so I hope you understood. Please make a note of these questions. These are very, very important questions with respect to the first topic, right? Solution of linear equations, solution to a pair of linear equations using graphical method. I hope you understood, and if you have any doubts, do share your doubts in the comments and I will definitely reply to you. Also, check out the playlist of the other two chapters, which is real numbers as well as polynomials. Follow the Do Math With Me series. It will help you practice a lot of problems. It will help you with your speed, accuracy, subject clarity and whatnot. So do leave your feedback. Please do share it with your friends and do not forget to subscribe. The first question is from Polynomials. The question is, if least composite number is one of the zeros of the quadratic polynomial x square minus 4 px plus q, then find the value of, you are asked to find root of 16p minus q. Okay, so let's get started. What is the least composite number? The least composite number is nothing but your 4. Okay, so the least composite number is nothing but 4. Okay, so 4, what are you given? This least composite number is one of the zeros of the quadratic polynomial, which means 4 is one of the zeros of the given quadratic polynomial. Let the polynomial be p of x, right? Or I can use a different say, let me just write it on the whole, right? Polynomial, what is the polynomial? X square minus 4px plus q. I am not writing p of x because this p is one of the variable here, right? And q is also. So I don't want to confuse and write p of x. Ideally, p of x is how you represent a polynomial with variable x, and it's small letter p. Okay, you can write it like that. But when you say that since 4 is one of the zeros of this particular polynomial, which means what? If this polynomial is denoted by, say, small letter p of x, in that case p of 4 is equal to 0. That means wherever you have x, if you are replacing x with 4, the value of the polynomial becomes 0. So let's do that. So in place of x, just substitute it as 4. So 4 square minus 4 capital P into x is 4 plus q equal to 0. So 4 square 16 minus 16p plus q equal to 0. So what do you get here? You can take 16p plus q to the other end. So you'll get 16p minus q equal to 16. Right? What have I done? I have taken minus 16p to the other end plus q to the other. So minus 16p becomes plus 16p plus q becomes minus q equal to 16. Now take the square root on both the sides. So take square root on both sides. So what do you get? Square root of 16p minus q equal to root of 16. Right? So root of 16 is nothing but plus or minus 4. This is your answer. Right? What you are asked is also similar. Root of 16p minus q. This is what you are asked to do. I hope you understood. Do pause the video and try solving. Let's move on to the next question. Find the zeros of x square minus root of 8ax plus 2 into a minus b. Now this is a little tricky question. I am going to do it very slowly. Each step, please listen and then you do it. Okay, for this particular question. So let's get started. So solution. So to find the zeros, we have to equate the polynomial to 0. Correct? So suppose let the given polynomial be p of x is equal to x square minus root of 8ax plus 2 multiplied by a minus b. This 8, okay, root of 8, I can write it as root of 2 into 2 into 2. So I can take 1 2 outside, I can write it as 2 root 2. So this is nothing but x square minus 2 root 2 a and then x plus I can write it as 2 into a minus b. So far clear? Now we are going to do the middle term splitting. So what is your sum and what is your product? Similar to the ones which we do using middle term splitting. So it is minus 2 root 2 a is your b. And what is your product? A into c. What is your a? A is 1. So 1 into c. So here you will have 2 into a minus b. Okay. So what are the two terms? If you see here, this is nothing but 2a minus 2b. Correct? If I take root 2a plus root 2b, okay, multiplied by root 2a minus root of root 2b. In that case, what will happen? You have to take the square, right? A plus b into a minus b. So, root of root 2a the whole square minus root 2b the whole square. So, what is root 2a? The root 2 whole square is 2. Root of a the whole square is a. Isn't it? Root a into root a is a minus root 2b the whole square. So, b is within the root. So, when you take square of it, root 2 will become root 2 the whole square will become 2. Root b the whole square will become b. Right? So, the two terms that we need, we have already got it. These are the two terms. Okay, you have to remember it.
when you add them, right, when you add these two terms, when you multiply them, you are getting 2a minus 2b. When you add them, this root 2b and minus root 2b will get cancelled. You will get a 2 root 2a. But what about this negative sign? There is a negative sign here. So what should you do? Whenever there is a negative sign, you can add a negative here and a negative here, right, in both the terms. So what will be the two terms? It will be minus of root 2a plus root 2b is one term, and the other term is minus of root 2a minus root 2b is another term. So be very careful when you are identifying the roots. Okay, so you have to make sure you are getting. So now if you multiply it, minus into minus is anyways going to be plus. Okay, you are getting 2a minus 2b. When you are adding them, okay, this minus root 2b and plus root 2b will get cancelled. Minus root 2a minus root 2a, you will be getting minus 2 root 2. So these are the two terms. So you will be splitting your middle term into these two values. So let's go ahead and do it. It's very important that you understand this part. Okay, so here I'm just going to make the small correction because here it's a negative one, right? So those two are something which you can do it, or you can probably write the one which I wrote secondly in order to just understand. Okay, so let's split up the term now. So x square minus 2 root 2a, I'm going to split it up like this. So what is it? Minus, I can take common, root 2a plus, so plus root 2b, okay, multiplied by x. Again, in the second one, minus of root 2a minus root 2b multiplied by x. I hope I'll rub it. Okay, you can probably make a note of this so that I get some space. And what is the last term? Plus this 2a minus b, I'm going to write it in the form of root 2a minus or plus root 2b multiplied by root 2a minus root 2b. I'm just going to write it in the form of a plus b into a minus b. So that 2a minus b is a square minus b square. Now I have written from the first two terms, I can take x common out. Okay, so what is left is x minus whatever you have in the bracket, you can write it. So root 2a plus root 2b. This is the first two terms. So first two terms you have taken x common out, right? When you take x common out, you have one x left minus of whatever is there in the bracket, just write the same. From this third and the fourth term, what can you take out common? You can take root 2a minus root 2b common. Okay, let me take a negative sign also. So minus of, within bracket, root 2a minus root 2b is what I'm taking out common. See, from the second and third, I'm taking this and this common out. I've taken it, right? So what is left inside? I've taken a minus also outside. So what is left is just an x, okay, and a minus. Within bracket, I will write root 2a plus root 2b. This is what is left. Now from these two terms, what do you have common? Look at the common term. This is one common term. Let me write it as it is. So x minus root 2a plus root 2b is one common term, and the other common term is x minus root 2a minus root 2b. Okay, so this is equal to x because you have to put, okay, you have to, whenever you are finding the zeros, you have to equate your p of x to 0. Okay, so if this is equal to 0, what are your x values? One of the values is either x minus of this root of 2a plus root of 2b equal to 0. So what will you have your x as? Root 2a plus root 2b is one of the 0. The other 0 will be x minus of root 2a minus root 2b equal to 0. So x is equal to root 2a minus root 2. Because it's in the bracket, nothing changes. It's just the negative sign outside. If it goes to the other end, it becomes positive. So these are the two zeros, right? So you can write the zeros of the given zeros are within bracket. You can write root 2a plus root 2b and root 2a minus root 2b. So this is actually a tricky question according to me, because first of all, you have to identify this root of 8a. You have to first of all write it in terms of 2 root 2, and then 2a minus b, you have to split. You have to think of a square minus b square and then find out the two terms for doing the middle term splitting and for factorization as well. This question is a little bit tricky, but it is not at all difficult. Probably you can do it once or twice and then you will understand it. Okay, so these are the steps. So finally we have got the zeros very easily. Try doing it once or twice without seeing. Okay, first understand how I have done. Okay, here I forgot, I just erased it, right? What is the sum and what is the product? When you are writing, do write it. Okay, so it is minus 2 root 2a, and then here it is 2a minus 2b. Okay, so hope you understood. Let's move on to the next question. Determine graphically the coordinates of the vertices of a triangle, the equations of whose sides are given by 2y minus x equal to 8. You are given just 3 lines, 3 straight lines are given to you. You have to draw them and find out the coordinates, right, of the vertices is what you have to find. Let's do it. For the first one, 2y minus x equal to 8. Let me take that and rewrite it. 2y minus x equal to 8. For various values of x and y, we have to find out the coordinates in order to get the straight line. First of all, if your x is 0, what will be your y? Y will be 4. 2y equal to 8, y equal to 4, right? Secondly, if your y is 2, what will happen? So 4, right? 2 into 2, 4 minus x equal to 8. So x equal to 4 minus. So 4 minus x equal to 8. X is equal to 4 minus 8, which is minus 4. So here you will have a minus 4. Okay. Can we find out one more value? If x is equal to 2. If x equal to 2, then what will you have? 2y minus 2 equal to 8. 2y equal to 10. Y equal to 5. Okay. So these are the points for the first line. Let us find out the points for the second line. Coordinates. So 5y minus x equal to 14. Okay, so let's find out at least bare minimum, you have to find out 2 points. First of all, if x is 1, what will be your y be? So 5y minus 1 equal to 14, 5y equal to 15, y equal to 3. So y is equal to 3. And then if x is equal to minus 4, right? Minus of minus 4 equal to 14. So 5y plus 4 equal to 14. 5y equal to 14 minus 4, which is 10. Y equal to 2. So if your x is nothing but minus 4, your y is going to be 2. So this is your second point. So like this, you will have to do it for each line so that you are able to get the coordinates for that straight line. As you know, this is a linear equation, and whenever you are plotting a linear equation, it's always going to be a straight line graph. And then the last one, y minus 2x equal to 1. I can write it as y is equal to 1 plus 2x, for my convenience. So let's get your x and y coordinates. If x is 0, what will be your y? Y is going to be 1. If x is equal to minus 1, that means 1 minus 2. What is 1 minus 2? Again, it's going to be minus 1. And then if x is 1, then what will be y? 1 plus 2, which is 3. So we have got the 3 three coordinates, right? Three, so that you can plot graphically. Now let us plot graphically. For the first one, I'm going to use different colors, okay? So for the first line, 0, 4, this is your 0. Okay, so this is your 0. 0, 4. So 0, 4 is this point. Secondly, what is the second point? Minus 4, 2. Where is minus 4, 2? This is the point. And then 2, 5. Where is 2, 5? So you have here 2, 5. Let me draw a straight line. Let me try and draw a straight line here. Okay. So this is your straight line. And whenever you're drawing a straight line, over the line, just write down the equation. That is 2y minus x equal to 8. Now let us move on to the second one. I'm going to change the color and do it. Okay. What is the second line? 1, 3. Where is your 1? 1, 3. So this is your 1, 3. And then minus 4, 2. Minus 4 and then 2. Okay. So let us draw a straight line again. So here, this is your line. Correct? And then the last one for the third one. 0, 1. So 0, 1 is here. Minus 1, minus 1 is going to be here. And then 1, 3. 1, 3. This is also here. So let me draw a straight line. Did you understand? So now what I have to do, what I didn't do is over the line, I have to write what is the equation of the line. Y equal to 1 plus 2x. This was the one. And for the second one, what was the equation? It is 5y minus x equal to 14. Now the graph is very clear, isn't it? You know which equation is being represented by which straight line. So once you have got it, now let us see. So which is the first line here? So this is your second line, right? This is your second line. This is your first line. And this is your third line. Where, you tell me, where do the first two lines intersect? The first and the second line. Where is your first line? This one, right? First two lines intersect where? They intersect at the first and the second line. Am I doing it correctly? Yeah, okay. So the first two lines intersect at 1 and 2. Minus 4, 2. Okay, so you can write down. So you can write the coordinates, right? So lines 1 and 2 intersect at, you can give it a point name A minus 4, 2. Okay, now where do lines 2 and 3 intersect? So 2 and 3, which is 2, this dark blue. 2 and 3, where do they intersect? They intersect at 1, 3. Okay, so let me write that. So this is your point B, right? So B, okay, so you can write lines 2 and 3 intersect at B 1, 3. And then lines 1 and 3, where do they intersect? Lines 1 and 3. The first line and the third line, they intersect at 2, 5. Okay, so you can mark this as C. So you can write line 1 and 2 intersect at C. What is the point? 2, 5. So what are the coordinates? As you can see, one of the coordinate is, so you have to find the coordinate, right, of the vertices. So you can see here, it's forming a triangle. isn't it? Can you see a triangle here? So you have to write the coordinates. So that's what we have marked with A, B and C. That's what I've written here. Okay. So A is the first coordinate. Your B is 1, 3 and your C is nothing but 2, 5. Read the question again. See. Determine graphically the coordinates of the vertices. Vertices are these A, B and C. Vertices of the triangle, the equations of whose sides are given. So the sides of the, so this was the first side of one of the triangle, which is this line. Then one of the side is this second straight line, and the third side of the triangle is the third straight line. So this triangle is formed by all the three lines, isn't it? And each straight line is given by these equations, linear equations. So you have to first get the coordinates of each of the lines, plot it graphically, accurately on a graph, do it in the graph paper so that your lines are all accurate and you are able to get your coordinates also correct. So that's all you have to do. You have found the coordinates of the vertices of this particular triangle. If you can, do shade this triangle as well. Okay, so let me do it. So this is the triangle. I'm not able to do it because it's an image. I hope you understood. Okay, so this is your triangle, right? Okay, do try it out and I'm sure you'll be getting it. Now let's move on to the next question. This is also a question from your second chapter. So here in today's daily practice, we are doing problems from both chapter 1 and chapter 2 and 3. Okay, so here in this question, if 2 alpha plus 2 beta equal to 18 and alpha beta is 20, then find a quadratic polynomial whose zeros are given as 3 alpha and 3 beta. Very easy. So first of all, whatever is given, right? 2 alpha, sum of the zeros. Let's calculate sum of the zeros. Take 2 common out. Your alpha plus beta equal to 18 and your alpha plus beta will be 18 by 2, which is 9. Okay, so this is your sum of zeros. Again, alpha beta product of zeros is given as 20. You have to write a quadratic polynomial whose zeros are this. So let us find for the required polynomial. For the required polynomial, let us calculate the sum of the zeros. What is the sum of the zero? 3 alpha plus 3 beta. Because 3 alpha and 3 beta are the zeros. So you are just summing it up. Take 3 common out. What will you have? Alpha plus beta. What is the alpha plus beta value from the given values? It is 9. So 3 multiplied by 9, which is 27 is the sum. Okay, let me write it as sum, S. And then, what is the product of the zeros? It is nothing but 3 alpha multiplied by 3 beta. 3 3s are 9. 9 into alpha beta. What is alpha beta value? It is 20. So 180. And what is this? This product of zeros, I will denote it by P. Now what is the formula? The formula is nothing but, if you know the sum of the zeros, if you know the product of the zeros, how can you write the quadratic polynomial? It is very easy. K multiplied by x square minus sx plus p. So k multiplied by x square minus 27x plus 180. So when k equal to 1, you can just write default value. When k equal to 1, the polynomial is x square minus 27x plus 180 is the required polynomial. Required polynomial. Okay. So for this particular polynomial, the zeros are 3 alpha and 3 beta. Very easy. Hope you understood. Please pause the video and do it yourself. Okay. Only then, if you are asked the similar question in the exam, you will be able to do it. Okay. Do not just watch the video and if you are in 10th, if you are really, wanting to learn and practice mathematics, mathematics cannot be learnt by just watching or seeing or reading, right? You have to practice, you have to solve a lot of questions. So the more questions you solve, the lesser the mistakes you make, the more stronger you are with respect to your subject. or any topic. Right? Hope you understood. So this is your final answer. Now let's move on to the fifth question. Now this is a question from your third unit. 2x plus y equal to 13, 4x minus or find the value of x minus y. First, let's find out what is x and y. So, two linear equations, 2x plus y equal to 13 and 4x minus y equal to 17. Since you have a, plus y and minus y, just add them. So, this will get cancelled. So, 6x equal to 30 and x is nothing but 30 divided by 6, which is 5. So, your x is equal to 5. Put this in any one of the equations. So, I'll put it in 2x plus y equal to 13 in the first equation. So, let this be equation 1. Let this be 2. So, you just put x in equation 1. Okay. So, 2 into 5 plus y equal to 13. So, 10 plus y equal to 13. Y equal to 13 minus 10, which is 3. So, your y is nothing but 3. But you are not asked x and y. You are asked x minus y. So, you can write therefore x minus y equal to 5 minus 3, which is 2. This is your final answer. So, be very careful. Read the question. It will actually be very easy. You just have to read the question thoroughly as to what is asked. Okay. If you just leave at this point, you're calculating x and y correctly, but you have not actually calculated x minus y. It's just a one-step thing, right? You'll lose marks if you are not reading it correctly. So, make sure, pay a lot of attention to the question and then think through it. Okay, and this practice that you are doing will definitely help you. Now, let's move on to the last question of today. Sum of two numbers is 105 and the difference is 45. Find the numbers. Again, very, very easy. Let the two numbers be x and y. So, your sum x plus y is 105. X minus y equal to 45. Just add the two equations. Plus y minus y gets cancelled. So, 2x equal to 250. Is it 250? No, 150. Right? 150 and x is equal to 150 divided by 2. So, 2 7s are 14 and 2 5s are 10. So, x is equal to 75. Put x in any one of the equations. So, what do you get? 75 plus y equal to 105. So, y is equal to 105 minus 75. So, 5 minus 5, 0. It's 30. Right? Therefore, your y is equal to 30. So, what are the two numbers? The two numbers are 75 and 30 respectively. That's how you have to write. Therefore, the numbers are 75 and 30. This is your final answer. So, make sure you write neatly. Make sure you write all the steps clearly. And if you're really fast, you should even be able to quickly recheck your answers. Right? So, we did very, very important 6 questions.
If you know, please solve it. Pause the video, solve it and then verify your answer. And if you do not know how to solve it, you can go ahead and check as we solve. Right? So, the first question is find the values of x and y from the following pairs of linear equations. You are given a pair of linear equations. You will have to find the values of x and y. Now, this is one type of questions which are frequently asked. Here, what do you observe? 62 is the coefficient of x in first equation. So, let's mark this as equation 1 and let me mark the second one as equation 2. So, what do you observe immediately as soon as you see this equations, the pair of equations? You see the coefficient of x in the first equation is the same as the coefficient of y in the second equation, and the coefficient of y in the first equation is the same as the coefficient of x in the second one. So, whenever the coefficients are interchangeably used, the method to do is, first of all, you have to add equation 1 and 2. Add equation 1 and 2. Okay, that is your first step. And nextly, you have to subtract 1 and 2. Okay, you have to subtract. You can do 1 minus equation 2. So first of all, let's add it up. Right? Let's write 62x plus 43y equal to 167. Right? And the second equation is 43x plus 62y is nothing but 148. Just add them. When you're adding them, you don't have to do anything, just the normal addition. So 3 plus 2, 5, 6 plus 4, 10. Right? 105x plus 105y equal to 15, 5, 1, 11, 1, 1, 3, 1, 5. Right? So take 105 common from the LHS. What do you get? X plus y. You can take 105 common is equal to 315. So x plus y is equal to 315 divided by 105. So if you do 105 multiplied by 3, right, 15. So it's 315. So here it will get cancelled with 3. So what does x plus y become? X plus y equal to 3. Now this is your equation 3 because you've already used 1 and 2. Now let us subtract 1 minus 2. Let's write it. 62x plus 43y equal to 167. 43x plus 62y equal to 148. Whenever you are subtracting a pair of linear equation, whenever you are subtracting one equation from the other, always change the sign. Here you have a plus 43x, you have to change it to plus will become negative, negative will become positive. So here again it's negative, here also it's negative. Okay. So what is 62 minus 43? 62 minus 43 is 19. 19x 43 minus. So whenever you have changed the sign, you should only consider this changed sign, the new sign. So here it is 43y minus 62y. What is 43y minus 62? It's a negative sign, right? Because the bigger number has a negative sign. So minus 19y equal to what is 167 minus 148? It is again 19. So take 19 common out. You will have x minus y equal to 19 and x minus y equal to 19 divided by 9, or it's just 1. Now this is your equation 4. Right? So look at how your equations 1 and 2 were looking like, all big coefficients. And when you added them and when you subtracted them, look at how simplified the equations are looking. So now you can very easily solve for x and y. So write down from equation 3 and 4. What is your equation 3? X plus y equal to 3. What's your equation 4? X minus y equal to 1. So you have a plus y, you have a negative y. So just add them. Okay, you just have to add them. Okay, so plus y minus y will get cancelled. So you have 2x equal to 4. X is equal to 4 by 2, which is 2. Right? Now you can put this in any one of the equations. So you can put x equal to 2 in equation 3, for example. So what do you have? X plus y equal to 3, right? X is 2. So 2 plus y equal to 3, y equal to 3 minus 2, which is nothing but 1. So you can write therefore x is equal to 2 and y equal to 1 is your final answer. Right? So whenever you have such questions, you have to immediately figure out, okay, by just looking at the pair, you will see whenever the coefficients are interchangeably used in two equations, add them once, subtract them once, get the simplified version of the two equations, and then you can go ahead and solve for x and y. Okay. So I hope you understood. Let's move on to the next question. Yeah, here is the question. 3x minus 5y equal to 4. 2x plus 7 equal to 9x. Now let us rearrange the terms in a standard format. Okay, so 3x minus 5y equal to 4. So this is your equation 1. The second equation is nothing but 9x. Okay, here there's a small mistake. This is nothing but 2y. Okay, so here it's 2y. Okay, so 9x minus 2y equal to 7. So this is your equation 2, right? Let us use the elimination method. So whenever we would like to eliminate one of the variables, say for example I would like to eliminate x. So what will I do? I will multiply, I will make that, so suppose I want to eliminate or remove x, I will make it equal and then subtract it. How will I make it equal? So if I multiply the first equation by 3 and the second equation as it is, let me keep it. So what will happen? The first equation will become, throughout all the elements have to be multiplied with 3. Okay, so what does it become? 3 into 3, 9x minus 15y equal to 12. And then below 1, there's no change. I have just multiplied with 1. So minus 2y equal to 7. Right? Now subtract it. So whenever you are subtracting, change the sign. Positive becomes negative, negative becomes positive, positive becomes negative. So 9x minus 9x will get cancelled. Minus 15y, what is it? Minus 15y plus 2. What is it? Minus 13, right? Minus 13y is equal to, what is 12 minus 7? It is 5. Okay. So what is y equal to? Minus 5 by 13. This is your y. Understood? Okay. Now once you have got your y is equal to, so you can put it in any of the equations. So let me put it in the second equation. So you can put y equal to minus 5 by 13 in the equation 2. That is here, this one. I'm going to put it here. Right? So what is it? 9x minus, probably I'll do it here. So 9x minus 2, in place of y, what will I put? Minus 5 by 13, because I've just found it out, equal to 7. Okay, so you're just putting y equal to minus 5 by 13, whatever you have just found, you can put it in any one of the equations. Whichever equation you put, you will still get the same answer. Right? So what do you get? 9x minus 2 into minus 5. It is plus 10 by 13 equal to 7. So what does 9x become? 7 minus 10 by 13. So what is 9x? LCM is 13. What is 13 multiplied by 7? It is 91 minus 10. Okay. So you have 9x equal to 81 divided by 13. So what does x become? X becomes 81 by 13. It goes to the denominator. Right? Multiplied by this 9 just comes down. Okay. So it's 13 multiplied. So 9 9s are 81. So what is x? X equal to 9 by 13. So that's your answer. So you can write it. Therefore, x equal to 9 by 13. And what is your y? Minus 5 by 13. This is your final answer. So after solving it, you can definitely even verify. If you have time, you can just verify. In any one of the equation, take any one of the equation. In place of x, substitute 9 by 13. In place of your y, substitute minus 5 by 13. And just verify if it is equal to 4. I'm leaving it to you to do as your homework. Okay, you can substitute the value of x and y in any one of the equation and you should be getting your value as 4. That's just to validate. Okay, so that's your homework, to validate if your x and y were correct. Let's go on to the next question. Right, so this also we'll be using the elimination method. So the question is 2p plus 3q equal to 13, 5p minus 4q equal to minus. So I would like to eliminate one of the terms. So what will I do? I will eliminate this q. How will I eliminate q? I will first multiply the first. Let this be equation 1. Let this be equation 2. I have to multiply the first term by 4. Okay, so because 3 and 4, the LCM is 12. And 3 multiplied by 4 is 12. 4 multiplied by what is 12? It is 3. So here I'll multiply by 3. Now multiply throughout all the elements of the first equation. You have to multiply it with 4. So what do you get? 4 into 2p, which is 8p, plus 12q equal to 13 multiplied by 4, which is 52. Again, 3 5s are 15p minus 12q equal to minus 6. So 12q minus 12q gets cancelled. What is left? 15 plus 8, 23. P is equal to 52 minus 6. It is 46. Right? So P is equal to, what is it? 46 divided by 23. So it is 2. Therefore, your P is equal to 2 is your answer. Now you can put P equal to 2 in any one of the equations. So let's put it in 1. So you have to put P is equal to 2 in equation 1. What is our equation 1? Here, 2P plus 3Q. So 2P plus 3Q equal to 13. So 2 multiplied by 2 plus 3Q equal to 13. So you have your 3Q. Here it is 4 plus 3Q equal to 13. 3Q equal to 13 minus 4, which is nothing but 9. And Q is equal to 9 by 3, which is nothing but Q equal to 3. This is your answer. So what is your, therefore you can write, therefore P is equal to 2 and your Q is equal to 3. This is your final answer. You have solved for P and Q. Okay. Is it clear? Did you also get the same answer? Please try it once and then check. Right? It's very, very easy. Just that you have to be very, very careful with when you're subtracting, when you're dividing, when you're adding. These are basic arithmetics which have to be clear, which have to be correct, right? So otherwise it's very easy. It's just that you have to take a bit of care. You have to be very careful when you're doing these basic arithmetics within basic calculations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Everything is coming here. If you're just a bit careful, then obviously you'll be getting your answer correct. Let's move on to the next question. 2 more questions, right? Okay. So here, find the value of k for which the following pair of linear equation has infinitely many solutions. So in order to do this question, you should remember what is the condition for infinitely many solutions. So in order for a pair of linear equations to have infinitely many solutions, what is the condition? That is a1 by a2, which is a coefficient of x in first and the second equation, should be equal to the coefficient of y in first and second equation. It should be equal to the constant term in first and the second equation. So okay, so here normally how is the equation? a1x plus b1y minus c1 equal to 0 or plus c1 equal to 0, and then a2x plus b2y plus c2 equal to 0. So you can think of, right, this is how your equation. So your a1 by a2, b1 by b2, c1, all these three ratios have to be equal. If they are equal, that means this pair of linear equations have got infinitely many solutions. The lines will coincide over each other, or the lines will overlap over each other. So each of these are straight lines. Okay, and these lines will overlap each other and they will have infinitely many solutions. So these are certain things which you have to remember. Now let us write what is your a1 and a2. What is a1? It is 2 divided by what is your a2? K plus 1. Just say the coefficients of x and y. b1 is 3 divided by 2k minus 1. Put it in the bracket. Equal to what is c1? 7 divided by 4k plus 1. You can take any two of the equations because they are all equal. So I'm going to take the first two. Cross multiply, what do you get? So 2 multiplied by 2k minus 1 should be equal to 3 multiplied by k plus 1. Open the brackets. So 4k minus 2 is equal to 3k plus 3. So 4k minus 3k equal to 3 plus 2. So k is equal to 5. This is your answer. Okay, this k is equal to 5 is your answer. So for doing such questions, there are three conditions, right? For infinitely many solutions, a1 equal to b1 equal to a1 by a2 equal to b1 by b2 equal to c1 by c2 is for infinitely many solutions. For the next question, we will do for another case wherein, in case if you're asked no solution, what is the thing? That means the third ratio will not be equal. First two will be equal, it will not be equal to the third one if it is no solution. And if it has just one solution, the first two ratios will not be equal. That is for your unique solution. So these are the three things that you have to make a note of. We will be doing more problems based on it. Now, the last question for today. If the system of linear equations 2x plus 3y equal to 7 and 2ax plus a plus by equal to 28 have infinitely many solutions, then you have to find a and b. Let us write both the equations. So 2x plus 3y equal to 7. I'll take 7 to LHS side. Okay. And then 2ax plus a plus b multiplied by y minus 28. Again, I'm going to take the c term to the LHS side equal to 0. Now, what did we just see? For infinitely many solutions, what is the condition that the system of equations have to satisfy? a1 by a2 should be equal to b1 by b2 should be equal to c1 by c2. Just write the coefficients. So x coefficient 2 divided by, so this is your a1, a2, b1, b2, c1, c2. Okay, so a1 by a2 is 2a should be equal to b1 is 3 divided by a plus b and should be equal to minus 7 by minus 28. So negative you can get cancelled. 7 ones are 7, 7 fours are 28. So you can consider this c1 by c2 as 1 by 4. Right? Okay, now let us, what can we do? You can take, in order to calculate your a, take the first and the third one. All the three ratios are equal, isn't it? So 2 by 2a equal to 1 by 4. Cross multiply. So 2a equal to 8. What is a equal to? 8 by 2, which is 4. Got it? Yeah. Now, take the second and the third one. What is the second ratio? 3 divided by a plus b equal to 1 by 4. You can take any two. Cross multiply. What do you get? A plus b. A plus b equal to 4 into 3. 12. Right? A is 4. 4 plus b equal to 12. What is b equal to? 12 minus 4. What is 12 minus 4? 8. That's all. Therefore, your a is equal to 4 and your b is equal to 8. This is your final answer. So, it's very easy. Linear equations in two variables. Very easy chapter. It's just that you have to practice more and more. And make sure you are getting the right answer. Make sure you are understanding the concept. What is the condition for unique solution, for infinitely many solution, and for no solution? I would like to thank each and every one for your support. We are at 990 subscribers in our Numeriq learning channel. Just 10 more to reach 1000. So if these daily math sessions are helping you, do share it with your class 10 friends. Let's get started. The first question is, find k if the given system of equations has no solution. So you have given that this particular system of equation has no solution. So first of all, let us use that information which is given and the criteria that matches your no solution. So write down, for no solution, right, a1 by a2 should be equal to b1 by b2, but this ratio cannot be equal to c1 by c2. As you know, always the system of equations can be represented as a1x plus b1y plus c1 equal to 0, right? And then a2x plus b2y plus c2 equal to 0. So this is the general representation of a system of equations. What I am writing is if this particular system, right, pair of linear equation has no solution, you have to remember this criteria. That is, the ratio of a1 by a2 will be equal to b1 by b2, but they will not be equal to c1 by c2. So this is the thing to remember. I'm just going to mark it important. Okay, because this is what will help you find out the value of k. Let's go ahead and replace a1 by a2 with the coefficients of x in both the equations. So what is the coefficient of x in the first equation? That is your a1, which is 3, divided by a2, which is k, is equal to b1, coefficient of y in the first equation, which is minus 4, divided by coefficient of y in the second, which is 3. It should not be equal to 7 divided by minus 5. Okay, you have to find the value of k. Let's take the first two ratios which has an equality in them. So you have cross multiply, minus 4k equal to, just cross multiply, 3 into 3, which is 9, right? So k is equal to minus of 9 by 4. So that's your answer. See how easy this question is. In order to do this question, you just have to remember this condition. For no solution, how is the ratio, right? So the ratios, first two ratios are equal, but that is not equal to the third ratio, which is your constants, C1 and C2. So this is how you have to do. The final answer is k equal to minus 9 by 4. In the exams, when you are writing, you should also write the same way. You cannot just directly from the given one, you cannot write the ratios directly. You have to write for no solution, this is the condition. Then you have to replace a1, a2, b1, b2, c1, c2 with the values as per your linear equations and then solve for k. Okay, so pause the video if you know this. If you have understood this, please pause the video and try the next question. Okay, if you still did not understand, I'm sure you will understand in the next question. So let's moving on to the second one. Yeah. For what value of k will the given system of equation has no solution? Again, same thing. For no solution, I'm going to write the solution. So for no solution, what is the condition? a1 by a2 should be equal to b1 by b2, but these two ratios will not be equal to c1 by c2. I'm just going to replace a1 is nothing but the coefficient of x in the first equation. It is 1 divided by 3. It should be equal to b2 by k. Should not be equal to, what is C1? See, here you have your C1 in the RHS side. Here C2 is in the left hand side. So what can I do here? I can rewrite it as x plus 2y minus 5 equal to 0. So it should be in the same format. Right here it is a1x plus b1y plus c1 equal to 0. Here it is a2x plus b2y plus c2 equal to 0. So it should be in the same format. Right? Now can you tell me what is c1 and c2? It is minus 5 by minus 15, right? So take the first two, cross multiply, k is equal to 3 multiplied by 2, which is 6. So that's your final answer. So at k equal to 6, for k equal to 6, the system, but again, there is a trick here. Why? Because if you replace k with 6, okay, listen very carefully. What is your a1 by a2? If k equal to 6, can we rewrite and validate if our answer is correct? What is the first two ratio? a1 by a2, it's 1 by 3. Is equal to 2 by, what is your k? 6. It is not equal to minus 5 by 15. What is minus 5 by 15? Minus gets cancelled. 5 ones are 5, 5 threes are 15. Right? It's 1 by 3. 2 ones are 2, 2 threes are. So here what are you getting here? 1 by 3 is equal to 1 by 3, but it is also equal to 1 by 3, right? So the answer is this particular system, okay, you cannot have a value of k. There cannot be a value of k which can satisfy this for the system to have no solution. So you should write k will not, there's no result. It does not have a result. Okay, there's no result or no value of k for which this particular system of equation, this specific system of equation has no solution. So this is a very tricky part. Reason is because the minute you get k equal to 6, you just stop it there and we write the answer, isn't it? But instead of just stopping it here, what should you do ideally? You should always recheck it. Substitute the value of k here. So if you see here, if you substitute k with 6, 1 by 3 is equal to 1 by 3. But C1 and C2 should not be equal to, right? It should not, but you cannot change anything. C1 and C2 is still 1 by 3. You cannot modify C1 and C2. So you cannot have any value of k in this particular system which will have no solution. So no value of k will fit in here. Is it clear? Okay. So this is your answer. Can we move on to the next one? Yeah, here. Find C if the system of equations has infinitely many solutions. Similarly, you are given two equations. So let's write down the condition for infinitely many solutions. For infinitely many solutions, A1 by A2 is equal to B1 by B2 and that is also equal to C1 by C2. This is the condition. So let's replace A1 by A2, C by 12 is equal to 3 by C is equal to 3 minus C by minus C. Right? Now, for the first two ratios, just cross multiply. So you have C square equal to 36. C is equal to plus or minus root of 36, which is nothing but plus or minus 6. Now again, as I told you, let's replace the values. So either C will be equal to plus 6 or C can be minus 6. Let's see which of the one fits in the ratio. So in place of C, just replace it with plus 6. So 6 by 12 is equal to 3 by 6. It's equal to 3 minus 6 divided by minus 6. So let's see what you're getting here. 1 by 2 is equal to, again 1 by 2 is equal to 3 minus 6 minus 3 by minus 6. Minus gets cancelled. 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6. Okay, so C equal to plus 6 is the correct answer. But if you take C equal to minus 6, what do you get? Minus 6 by 12. I am just replacing C equal to minus 6 in the given system of linear equations and the ratios. Okay, equal to 3 divided by minus 6 equal to 3 minus of minus 6 divided by minus of minus 6. Right? So 6 ones are 6, 6. So what do you get? Minus 1 by 2 is equal to minus 1 by 2 should be equal to minus 1 by 2. But what are we getting? 3. If you open the bracket, minus into minus is plus. So 3 plus 6 is 9 by 6. So what do you get? 3 3s are 9, 3 2s are. So it's not equal is what you're getting. So C equal to minus 6 is not the right answer. C equal to plus 6 is the correct answer. Is it clear? Okay, so the most important thing to remember is this one. For infinitely many solutions, all the three ratios are equal. Okay, so this is your A1, B1, C1, A2, B2 and C2. I've just replaced the coefficients of x, y and constant in both the equations. Hope you understood. Do make a note of it. Okay, so the next question. Yeah, solve graphically. So you are given a pair of equations and you have to find the solution by plotting it graphically. Let's take the first linear equation, which is 4x minus y equal to 4. Correct? Let's take x and y. First of all, if x is 0, what will be y? Minus y equal to 4, so y will be minus 4. Right? If x is equal to 1, what will you have? If x is 1, you will have 4 minus y equal to 4 minus y equal to 4 minus 4, which is 0. So what will be your y? It will be 0. If x is equal to 2, what will you have? If x is 2, so 8 minus y equal to 4 or y equal to 8 minus 4, which is 4. So what is the answer? It is 4. So these are the coordinates for the first line. Now, let's go on to the second equation, which is 3x plus 2y equal to 14. For different values of x and y, let's do it. If x is equal to 0, what will you have? So 0 plus 2y equal to 14. Y is equal to 14 by 2, which is 7. Right? Which is 7. Now, if x is equal to 2, what will be your y? So if x is 2, you have 6 plus 2y equal to 14. So 2y equal to 14 minus 6. What is 14 minus 6? 8, right? Then y equal to 4. So the answer is 4. And the last one, if x is equal to 4, then what will you have? If x is equal to 4, then here it will be 4 into 3, 12 plus 2y equal to 14. 2y equal to 14 minus 12, 2y equal to 1. So y equal to 1. So you have found the coordinates. So let's plot the lines. For the first equation, 0 comma minus 4. So we have got the graph 0 comma minus 4. So you have a 0 here, 0 comma minus 4. This is your point, first point. Second, 1 comma 0 is here, 2 comma 4, right? And let me draw a line passing through all of these lines. Kind of, you can draw it with the scale. Now let me change the color, and so here before that I should write what the equation is of this line. So what is this equation? What is this equation? That 4x minus y equal to 4. Okay, so you should always write the equation which is representing the line. And let me change the color and do it for the second one. 0 comma 7. Where is 0 comma 7? Here, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. This is 0 comma 7. 2 comma 4. 2 comma 4 is again here, and then 4 comma 1. 4 comma 1. So let us draw again a straight line. Okay, I hope you can understand this quite right. So just draw, make sure it is very accurate, because I have got this tab. I'm just trying my best to do it accurately for you. Okay, so what is the second equation? 3x plus 2y equal to 14. I'm going to just write it here. 3x plus 2y equal to 14. Okay, where do these two lines intersect? They intersect at 2 comma 4, right? You should write it that the lines, what will you write here? The lines intersect at 2 comma 4. Therefore, x equal to 2 and y equal to 4 is the solution of the equation. Is the solution. Okay. So this is what you have to write. So graphically getting the solution, that is finding the value of x and y, is very, very easy. Just that you have to be able to first of all find the different points for this line equation, and also for the second equation. So whenever whenever you have a linear equation that is of degree 1, when you plot it, it's always a straight line graph. Okay, the graph of a linear equation is always a straight line, and whenever you're drawing the straight line, always make sure you write that specific linear equation which you're representing with a line on the side here. Like this, you have to write it. Okay, so this is how the teachers will know which line is representing which of the linear equation. So always make sure you do that. Fine. Okay, let's move on to the next question. I hope you understood. Yeah, fifth question of today. Solve using substitution method. Again, very, very easy. Substitution method means you have to first take any one of the equation which is easier and express x in terms of y. Okay, so here let this be your first equation. Okay, the second equation looks easy, so I can write x is nothing but minus 4y will go to the right hand side, so it will become plus 4y minus 7, right? Let this be equation 2. Okay, I can substitute because the method is substitution method. Substitute 2 in 1. When you substitute 2 in 1, in place of x, what will you write? See, you're substituting 2 in 1. In place of x, I'm going to write 4y minus 7. Okay, so 3 multiplied by 4y minus 7 plus 2y equal to 14. Right? Open the brackets and multiply. So 3 4s are 12y minus 21 plus 2y equal to 14. Solve for y. So what is it? 12y plus 2y, which is 14y, is equal to 14 plus 21. What is 14 plus 21? 4 plus 1, 5, 2 plus 1, 3. So y is equal to 35 by 14. Okay, 7 5s are 35, 7 2s are 14. So what is y? Y is equal to 5 by 2. Once you have got 5, you can put y is equal to 5 by 2 in your second equation. So what do you get? You can get x. X is equal to, what should you have? 4 multiplied by, in place of y, right? See, in equation 2, in place of y, you can write 5 by 2. So 4 multiplied by 5 by 2 minus 7. 2 2s are 4. So 2 5s are 10. 10 minus 7, which is 3. So therefore, x is equal to 3 and your y is equal to 5 by 2 is the solution. So you have solved using substitution method, right? So whenever you have substitution method, take one of the take whichever is the easiest equation. You have to express x in terms of y, or you can express y in terms of x and then substitute that in the first equation and get the other variable value. Okay, once you have got one of the variable, again you can substitute it in any one of the equation and find your other variable. So 2 variables you will be able to get. Okay, so this is what is your substitution method. You're substituting everywhere. Now, so do try it out, and this is very easy. If you haven't learned also, it's kind of very easy. Just in 1 or 2 questions you'll be able to crack it. So yeah, the next one. Solve using elimination method. Again, a very good, interesting one. So let me write it again. 7x minus 5y equal to 11. 3x plus 4y equal to 17. I would like to eliminate y. So I have to make the coefficient of y same. Right? Coefficient of y can be same. So here I will multiply throughout by 4 and the second one I am multiplying throughout by 5. Okay, so that I can eliminate y. So multiply throughout by 4. So 7 4s are, what is it? 28x minus 20y equal to 44. And then 5 3s are 15x plus 20y equal to 85. Right? Just add them. So minus 20 and plus 20y will get cancelled. You're just adding it, right? So 8 plus 5, 13. 43x is equal to 129. So x is equal to 129 divided by 43. It will cancel with 3. Therefore, your x is equal to 3. So this is how we are doing. And then you can put x in any one of the equations above. I will be putting it in equation 1. Okay. So you can write down. So put x equal to 3 in equation 1. So what do you get? 7x minus 5y equal to 11. So what is it? 7x in place of x, it's 3 minus 5y equal to 11. So 7 3s are 21 minus 5y equal to 11. So what is 5y? I'm going to write it here. 5y is equal to 21 minus 11. So 5y equal to 10 and y is equal to 2. 10 by 5, which is 2. Okay, so therefore you can write down. Therefore, x is equal to 3 and y equal to 2 is the solution of this particular pair of equation. So you have used elimination method and we are initially eliminating the y here. If you see, we are removing the y by making the coefficients equal. Okay, so it's very, very easy again. So I hope you understood both how to do substitution and elimination. Now the last problem. You are given A, B, C, D is a rectangle. Okay, always whenever you have rectangle, the opposite sides are equal. You have to find x and y. So just see, this particular side, opposite sides are equal. So AB is equal to CD and AD equal to CB. So let's write the equation. X minus 3y is equal to 12 and 2x plus y equal to 10. You can choose any method in order to find the solution, but I will go for elimination method. Okay, so here I'm multiplying it throughout by 2 and here I'm multiplying it with 1. So 2x minus 6y equal to 24 and 2x plus y equal to 10. I did not do any changes to it. I'm just subtracting them. So 2x gets eliminated and here what is left? Minus 6y minus y. Minus 7y is equal to 24 minus 10. It is 14 plus 14. So y is equal to minus of, don't forget the negative sign, minus of 14 by 7, which is nothing but, therefore y equal to minus 2. This is your first. You can put y equal to minus 2 in any one of the equations. So we can put it in the first equation. So mark it as equation 1, mark it as equation 2. Put y equal to minus 2 in 1. So x minus 3 into minus 2 equal to 12. So x plus 6 equal to 12. What is your x? X equal to 12 minus 6. Therefore, x equal to 6. So you've got x equal to 6 and y equal to minus 2. These are the answers for the given scenario, right? If you are asked to find the sides also, you should be able to just substitute your x with 6 and your y with minus 2. And if you are asked to find the sides AB and BC, you should be able to do it. But it will be equal, right? You will be getting it as 12 and here you'll be getting it as 10. Is it correct? So you can validate also. In case if you are asked to validate, you can definitely validate. So that's all for today. We have solved 7 good questions from linear equations. I look forward to your feedback. Do join me every Sunday evening 6 to 7 p.m. IST on a live YouTube session wherein we will be solving a lot of MCQ questions from each chapter. And this week it's going to be linear equations. Find the zeros of P of x equal to 3x square minus 4x minus 4. So you have to find the zeros. Whenever you have to find the zeros, you have to equate the polynomial to 0. That's the first thing. And write a polynomial whose each of the zeros is 2 more than the zeros of P of x. So first of all, let us find out the zeros of P of x. So the solution is given p of x equal to 3x square minus 4x minus 4. Those who know how to solve it, please pause the video and go ahead with writing the question and solving it. And those who do not know, please continue watching. Right? So you are, whatever is the way, always follow the way I write the solution. I'll always write it in steps. You can also follow the same, because steps do carry marks in your board examination. So write the given polynomial with variable x, that is p of x. You are writing it. So to find the zeros, you have to equate p of x to 0. Okay, so you have to equate p of x to 0. So let's do that. So 3x square minus 4x minus 4 equal to 0. So we have to do the factorization using middle term splitting. So what is the sum value? It is minus 4. And what is the product value? It's a into c. So 3 into minus 4 is minus 12. You have to find two numbers whose sum is minus 4 and whose product is minus 12. So the minute I see 12, I write 6 2s are 12. So where should I put a negative sign such that my sum will be minus 4? It is to the bigger number. So minus 6 plus 2, right? Minus 6 plus 2 will give you minus 4, and minus 6 multiplied by 2 will give you minus 12. So these are the two numbers for your middle term splitting. So let's do the middle term splitting. 3x square minus 6x plus 2x minus 4 equal to 0. So from the first two terms, you can take 3x common. So what will be left is x minus 2. Again, take 2 common from the third and the fourth term. What will be left is x minus 2 equal to 0. Now, from these two terms which is separated by a plus, what is common? It is x minus 2. Right? X minus 2 is common. And what is remaining is 3x plus 2 equal to 0. So these are the two factors of this particular equation. This becomes a quadratic equation because it's equal to 0. Right? So what are the zeros? Either x minus 2 equal to 0, which means x equal to 2. Or 3x plus 2 equal to 0, which means 3x equal to minus 2, or x equal to minus 2 by 3. Right? So therefore, you have got the zeros of p of x. These two are the, what are they? These are the zeros of the p of x polynomial which was given to you. Now, so you have done this first step, right? Find the zeros. You have found the zeros, which is 2 as well as minus 2 by 3. What is the question asking you? Write the polynomial whose each of the zeros is 2 more than the zeros of the polynomial. So what will be the zeros of the new polynomial? So write down, therefore, the zeros of the new or the required polynomial will be, you have to, it is 2 more than the zeros, right? So you can add 2. So it is, the first 0 would be 2. Along with that, you have to add plus 2, which is 4. This is one of the 0. And here also you can add, for the another 0 also you have to add 2. X equal to, you can write minus 2 by 3 plus 2. Okay. So what, I hope you understood, right? Whose each of the 0 is 2 more than the zeros of the polynomial. 2 more than the zeros means you have to add 2 to both of these zeros. Okay. So minus 2 by 3 plus 2. LCM is 3. So it's minus 2. And then plus 3 2s are 6. So what is 6 minus 2? It is 4 by 3. So what are these? X equal to 4 and x equal to 4 by 3. These are the zeros of the new polynomial or the required polynomial. These are the zeros of the required polynomial. But you are not asked for the zeros. You are asked to find the polynomial, right? Write the polynomial. So what do you, in order to write the polynomial, what should you do? You have to find the sum of the zeros. So what is the sum of the zeros? Just add the two zeros. So 4 plus, so this is one of the 0 which is alpha, and let this be beta. Alpha plus beta, just add it up. So 4 plus 4 by 3. LCM is 3, so 3 4s are 12 plus 4. What do you get? 16 by 3. What is the product of the zeros? 4 multiplied by again 4 by 3. Again it is going to be 4 4s are 16 by 3. Therefore, the required polynomial is nothing but required polynomial. What is the formula? So suppose if it is p dash of x is equal to k multiplied by x square minus sx plus p. This is your required polynomial. So I can write p dash of x, which is the required polynomial, equal to k multiplied by x square minus, what is sx? This is your s and this is your p. What is it? 16 by 3x plus 16 by 3. Take LCM as 3, so you can take that 3 outside. So it's k by 3, and when you take the LCM, what will be the first term? It will be 3x square minus 16x plus 16. Okay, so now you can write when k equal to 3, this k term is very much essential. So 3 by 3 would get cancelled. When k equal to 3, the required polynomial is nothing but 3x square minus 16x plus 16. This is your final answer. Right? This is your required polynomial. You can write it here. This is your required polynomial. Okay. I hope you understood. First of all, we find the zeros of the given polynomial. Okay, we find the zeros by using the factorization method. So here we have got, first of all, to find zeros, you have to equate the polynomial to 0 and do the middle term splitting. You get the zeros, and then according to the question, you have to find a polynomial whose 0 is 2 more than the zeros of the p of x. So it has to be 2 more than the zeros of p of x. So the zeros of the new polynomial will be add 2 to both the zeros. Add up 2, right? Plus 2, add 2 to both the zeros. So you will get 4 and 4 by 3. Once you have got the zeros, you need to find the sum of the zeros, that is adding these two zeros, and also product of the zeros. So once you get the sum and product, you have to remember this formula, that is the polynomial will be k multiplied by x square minus sx plus b. Okay, that's all. It's a very easy question, a 3-mark question. So hope you understood. Let's move on to the next question. Yes, if the zeros of the polynomial x square plus ax plus b are in the ratio 3:4, then prove that 12a square equal to 14b. Now whenever you are given that the zeros are in the ratio of 3:4, let's assume that let the zeros of your polynomial p of x be 3x and 4x respectively. Okay, so given polynomial p of x is nothing but, what is it? X square plus ax plus b. So what is the sum of the 0? Alpha plus beta, we know the formula is minus b by a. What is the sum of zeros? Can you add the two zeros, that is 3x plus 4x equal to, what is minus b? Minus, here b is nothing but your a. So minus a, and what is a? A is nothing but 1. So what do you get? 7x equal to minus a and x equal to minus a by 7. This is what you are getting. What is the product of the zeros? Alpha beta equal to c by a. What is alpha beta? Just multiply them. 3x multiplied by 4x equal to c. What is c here? It is b. A is 1. So you just can write a b. Okay. So 3 into 4 is 12. X square equal to b. In place of x, what do I write? Minus a. So you've already got, right? X equal to minus a by 7. So I'm just substituting minus a by 7 in place of x equal to b. So 12 multiplied by what is minus a the whole square? It is a square. Whole divided by what is 7 square? 49 equal to b. Cross multiply. So what do you get? 12a square equal to 49b. Hence proved. This is what you have to prove. So hence proved. A very good question. A very good question in fact. So definitely do try it. Very easy. You are given a polynomial and you are given that the zeros are in the ratio of 3:4. So whenever you are given the ratio, just assume that let the zeros be 3x and 4x respectively. Find the sum of the zeros, product of the zeros, and you will be able to solve it. Okay, always keep an eye on what you have to prove. Okay, so you have to rearrange the terms in such a way that you are able to get to what you have to prove. Right? Okay, it's a very easy question again. So please do try it out. Now let's move on to the third question. If the sum of the zeros of the polynomial p of x equal to, you are given p plus 1 x square plus 2p plus 3x plus 3p plus 4 is minus 1. That means if the sum of the zero is given as minus 1 of this particular huge polynomial, find the value of p. Again, very easy. Let's do it. Let the given p of x, let me write the polynomial first of all. So p plus 1 multiplied by x square plus 2p plus 3 multiplied by x plus 3p plus 4. This is your polynomial. Now, what are you given? You are given that the sum of the zeros is nothing but of the polynomial is minus 1. Right? So alpha plus beta equal to, we know that it's minus b by a. What are you given? Alpha plus beta value is minus 1 equal to minus of what is b? This is your b, coefficient of x. So what is it? 2p minus 3 divided by what is your a? A is nothing but the coefficient of x square, that is p plus 1. Cross multiply, minus will get cancelled. Okay, so minus will get cancelled. What you get is p plus 1 equal to 2p minus 3. So 2p plus p will go to the other end, which is minus p. Here minus 3 will come to the left hand side, which will become plus 3. So what is 2p minus p? It is just p. I am going to write it here. And what is 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. So what is the value of p that you are getting? Did I do a mistake here? Yes, I did a small mistake. Let me just correct it here. Okay, so what is your a in this particular question? Yeah, this is your a. What is your b? B is 2p plus 3, right? I by mistake I wrote a negative. So it's 2p plus 3. So I'm just going to write 2p plus 3 everywhere. Negative gets cancelled. So when you cross multiply, p plus 1 equal to 2. So let's rearrange it. Let me do it again. So this is nothing but, here you will have a plus 3. If it goes to the other side, it will become minus 3, right? And here it is 2p minus p. It's correct. So 2p minus p is p. 1 minus 3 is nothing but minus 2. So the value of p is nothing but minus 2. Okay, just check. Be very careful when you are rewriting your coefficients a, b and c. Okay, so here it's minus b by a. So correctly, please make sure you note it correctly. And then just cross multiply and simplify it. Okay. Let's move on to the fourth question. Yeah, what should be the value of lambda such that the given system of equations have infinitely many solutions? Let me rewrite the given system of equations again. So you are given 7x plus lambda y. I am going to rewrite it in the standard form, that is minus 8 equal to 0. Okay, the second linear equation is 21x plus 3y minus 24 equal to 0. What is a1 and a2 here? a1 is 7, a2 is nothing but 21, right? Coefficients of x in both. b1 is lambda, b2 is nothing but 3. that is coefficient of y in the first and second equation. What is your C1? Minus 8. What is your C2? Minus 24. Now what are you given? These system of equations have infinitely many solutions. So what should you write? For infinitely many solutions, your A1 by A2 should be equal to B1 by B2, and that should be equal to C1 by C2. So 7 by 21 should be equal to lambda by 3, and that should be equal to minus 8 by minus 24. Minus gets cancelled. 8 ones are 8, 8 threes are 24, 7, 1, 3. So what do you get? 1 by 3 equal to lambda by 3 is equal to 1 by 3. You can take any two ratios, cross multiply. So what do you get? 3 lambda, just cross multiply. Okay, 3 lambda equal to 3, which means therefore lambda equal to 3 divided by 3, which is 1. So lambda is equal to 1 in order for this particular pair of equations to have infinitely many solutions. So remember this particular condition. Okay, so for infinitely many solution, all these three ratios, that is A1 by A2, B1 by B2, C1 by C2, all three have to be equal. So that's all for today. So we have solved four different questions from linear equation. I hope you understood. Hope this was useful. So continue your learning. Do math every day. Do join the series. If you haven't watched my previous videos, do check out the playlist. Chapterwise playlist is also available. NCERT solutions are also available for the first 2 chapters. Exemplar exercise is also available, and this daily math series. So it's never too late. Even if you're new, you can get started right from day 1, and do join me every Sunday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. IST on a live MCQ and doubt clearing session. So if you have any doubts, you can definitely join and you can ask me every Sunday 6 to 7 p.m. Okay, till then, that's all for today. Happy learning. See you all in the next video. Thank you so much.